So whereabouts were you sitting when the aircraft encountered its problems?
First of all, I was sitting in seat number 8 and decided during the commotion I decided to change to number 7, which was an empty seat. Why? Probably because it was nearer the door.
Did the weather change quickly?
The weather did change very quickly, very, very quickly. That was more noticeable when the aircraft veered possibly to the right or to the left, which I can't remember exactly. And I believe this was their idea of diverting round a nimbus cloud, which they obviously did not want to fly through. But no matter where they turned, the clouds were there. Then eventually we got the hail, very, very heavy hailstorm, and it was actually coming in the vents. And at that time, I think they had a hard on the ice detector, which they thought maybe it's a pellet being stuck in this, and it quite possibly was. Obviously at that point the lightning strike and the damage was done to the, I believe was the tail rotor initially, which had damaged the main rotor, which gave such a severe imbalance that, you know, it was unbelievable how an aircraft could have had that effect on anybody with a really, really severe imbalance shaking. The pilots obviously dropped down, I believe, maybe to somewhere about 1,500 feet. Then the second bang, and that was it. Down we went, all the way.
Was the aircraft yawing from left to right when this was happening? Could you feel it yawing?
Yes, violently. Really, it really was very violent. Yeah. And after that lightning strike, there was no communication coming through. Probably because everything was knocked out with the lightning strike. So as the pilots thought they were communicating with us through the headsets which we had on, they weren't, because nobody knew what had actually happened, and down it went.
Probably zapped the bus breakers, I would say.
Yeah.
So the initial strike on the water, how did the aircraft react when you touched the water for the first time?
The aircraft, when it was falling rapidly, it felt as if you were sort of slow motion, but it wasn't slow motion. And it being a force 10 storm, very, very high seas. So initially when the aircraft fell, they deployed the flotation bags, which helped an awful lot. And as we were going down, there was a wave coming up, and that sort of broke the sort of hit of the aircraft on the wave on the way down. Still quite a violent bang, but I think that saved it quite a lot until the aircraft settled, but obviously very high seas, very high seas.
Were the rotors still turning when you touched, or had they ceased?
No, the rotors weren't turning. I believe at the time they had shut the rotors down, which auto-gyrated down, which possibly helped it, but it was still going very quick.
So once you touched and you're in the water, you're in seat 7?
Yep.
What happened next after that?
What happened? Right away, we knew that was it, we were down. So we had to get the life rafts out. So my idea of this was to put the door out, which is an emergency. When the door went out, we had to pull the life raft, which was under seat 10, and deploy the life raft into the water with the painter. Unfortunately, the life raft stuck to the side of the aircraft, which was not good. And that initial time was probably a lot of seconds, or maybe half a minute. But by that time, the other emergency door was deployed and most of the personnel went to that life raft.
When you were exiting the aircraft, did you dive out of the aircraft? Was the raft floating away from you, or was it still attached?
The raft was quite near the aircraft, but you had to run to jump into it because of the severe swell. Inside the aircraft was probably about maybe a foot of water. Very, very cold. Very cold.